Hello students, today we are going to discuss allophone, allomorph and sound pattern of language. So let us see what is in first slide. Here in first slide, that is, we are going to discuss introduction, then allomorph, sound pattern of language and allophone. Okay. Now what the study about the word allophone study about the word must be related to the form, means how to form a word, how word is made, right, with the help of letters, right, and how it is pronounced, and what's the meaning of the word, what's the sound of the word, and what's the structure of the word. So that is study about form of word is called morphology. How word is formed, the deep study of form of word is called morphology. Okay. Now morphology, morphemes means words can be taught of as the minimal units of morphology, means morphology is a study of words, right, and morphemes are the units or minimal units of morphology. They are not merely the smallest unit of grammatical structure. They are smallest unit of grammatical structure, but also smallest meaningful units. So that is just not only grammatical structure, but there is meaning. For example, helpfulness. So that is help is a root word, full is suffix, ness is suffix, right? Now it has three morphemes: help, full and ness, right? Then readable, right? So that's readable, readable, hearing, performance, right? These are the examples. Readable, read plus able, hear plus ing, perform plus ends, right? These are there are two morphemes. Okay. Now allomorph. In fact, many morphemes have two or more different pronunciations called allomorphs. Means the word has two or more pronunciation is called allomorph. For example, the plural of following nouns: cats, dogs, horses, right? So here when we add s in the cat, so that's all are suffixes: cat, dogs and horses. But sound is changed. In first case, plural or rams, caps, cuffs, fates. So here S sound is different. But when we put S in the dog with the dog, so sound becomes at last it's a Z sound. So that is Z in dogs, days, boys, bags, calls. And is sound or s sound: horses, judges, buses, garages, matches. Okay. So this is called allomorph. Allomorph occur unconsciously related to phonological process. So that allomorphs occurs, it's not conscious effort, it's unconsciously related to phonological process. Phonological process means when we understand the sound, right? So that is phonological process, when we have to decide which allomorph to use. The decision is to think itself. It can be called allomorphy. Means when our brain tells us that's what's a correct pronunciation of this word, that process is called allomorphy. Allomorphy is a study about the choice of allomorph. Means in this particular word for dogs, so that's a vibrate our sound with the s. We are putting s with dogs and cats, but when we speak cats, so that s is different. That's a sound. And when dogs, so that's a whistling sound, zerka sound. So that is allomorphy. That process is called allomorphy, and which is the study of about choice of allomorphs, right? Now, even it depends so much on phonology, not morphology at all. So that is, that choice is depend on phonology, means sound. It depends on sound, not depends on words, right? Example, lies. The plural form comes with allomorphs as lies, right? And if lies sounds with s or es, the word will break some rule of English phonology. Means that is, lies sounded s with s or es, and the word will break some rule of English phonology. Why? Because s is, that's a s ka sound आना चाहिए, but here instead of s, what sound is being come, that is ka sound, lies, right? So that is not actually given in a rule in grammar. An actual word is lies sounds with s, that would be word of lies or louse, plural. Replacing with es, it at least the plural of noun lia, and is an actual word liars. So liars, liar is pronounced without n r sound, liar, liar, right? So in some cases the voiceless consonant, wife, plural of wife, wives, right? Loaf, loaves, okay? So that the plural is not loaves but ves, for some reason to do with grammar or with the structure of the language, and that is why that's a voiceless consonant, wives, right? And then loaves, so that is not s only, it becomes ves, right? Now next is identifying morphemes of independently meaning, contributing meaning. Again, example, rewrite, reread, repaint, revisit. The same prefix occurs in verbs such as revive, return, restore, revise. It may seem re and re, re, as allomorphs of the same morpheme. Rewrite, rewrite, right? And revive, rewrite, reread, return, right? So that's the sound is in case about rewrite. So that's the ri, rewrite, and revive, it's a ra ka sound. So that is called allomorph. So prefix plus root is called monomorphemic. Monomorphemic. Mono is one and morphemic because one word is to be added with the root word. Now phonology. Phonology is the sound pattern of language. Sound pattern of language. The study of how speech sounds form patterns, right? G is silent in word sign, but in pronounced is pronounced in word signature. So this is the sound pattern, right? Very good example. That's how speech sound form patterns. This is the study of pattern, right? Pattern of sound. In case of sign, G is not pronounced, but in case of same spelling signature, G is pronounced. Autumn and autumnal, right? Bomb and bombard, right? Bombard and bomb, right? And autumn and autumnal. So that's a different sound. The slippery in autumn, slippery n in autumn, right? No sound of n. However, we put n, but in autumnal or b in, so that is autumnal, right? Here n sound is pronounced, or b in bomb, but bombard, so that's a bombard, right? So that's a not bombard, it's not oka sound. Okay, now discussion. What is that's a English has nasalized vowels but only in syllables with nasal consonant. For example, song, the velar nasal, right? It cannot begin in English, but it can in Vietnamese, such as that. Sorry, I'm not familiar with, so I cannot read it. So that is something about little bit knowledge about this. Now sound pattern, right? Phonology, the sound form different patterns in different languages. The word phonology refers both to the linguistic knowledge that speakers have about the sound pattern in their language and to the description of that knowledge that linguists try to produce, right? Now, allophone. In phonology, there is the phonological units of language called phoneme. What is phoneme? Phonology, there is phonological units of language. Phonological units are called phoneme. Units, we need to have units. The phonemes are what we have been calling the basic form of a sound, or are sensed in your mind rather than spoken or heard, right? Each phoneme has associated with it one or more sound called allophones, which represent the actual sound corresponding to the phoneme in various environment. For example, I is bead and a bed, right? So bead and bad, right? So they are here bead, and that's a sound e, right? And then a, bad, right? There are sounds from different phonemes. In English, each vowel phoneme has both an oral and a nasalized allophone. To distinguish between a phoneme and its allophones, use slashes for phoneme and use brackets for allophones. For example, I and are allophones of phoneme I, right? And these are the allophones phoneme L. Allophones of T, thick, stick, thick and stick, and hits and bitter. All T sound are different. A phoneme T has three allophones, T, T and R, bitter, right? These are the sounds. Now, that is something about this slide. Okay, thank you.